This is okay. So, very good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice? Yes. Okay, thank you. So, welcome back to this online artificial intelligence classes. We have been discussing about inference management system for the last 4 to 5 classes. We will just continue in the same phase, like we are discussing about what exactly is a natural direction system for 2 classes. And we have been discussing about axiomatic system for the last 2 classes, and this is my third class for axiomatic search or axiomatic system. And these classes are started with how many types of inference management systems are there. So we have seen many different types of inference management systems. If you just remember, we have something called as systems which process symbols. Just a minute, I'm just coming back. We have systems which process symbols. Actually, this is what we are doing. This is what it is. We have traditional systems which represent the statements in the form of symbols, and that for that the example is an axiomatic system and natural reduction system and semantic tableau that we see tomorrow. So there is a system which will convert your natural language processing statements into symbols. This is the second type of system that we are discussing about. And there is a system which will process natural language processing statements, and they can, by the way in which that was syntactically constructed, they will understand this meaning of the statements and they are going to infer something. So all these inference management systems that I'm just typing here, the output is an inference. As per the syllabus that was given in your textbook is concerned, every time the output is whether the inference is true or false. The output is 1 or 0. But in general, when we try to apply and process these NLP statements, and if I ask you whether you have a rain after this class at 9:40, then I said every statement or every processing that we do in artificial intelligence is something called as, every time it will change, and we call it as the way in which you dynamically values changes. Even in NLP also, if a system reads a paragraph and can understand, the understandings are different. See, the word or the sentence meaning will depends upon the earlier statement and the next statement. So when I have a statement that was given and your system has to read that statement and understand what exactly the statement is, there are three things, like it will understand based on the meaning of the sentence. It will understand based on the context of the usage of the sentence. It will understand based on the successor and predecessor of the sentences. So many times are there. So I will understand the meaning of the sentence. The meaning of the sentence and context of the sentence has to be taken. Meaning of the statement, context of this statement, as well as the successor and predecessor of the statement has to be taken, and many others constraints are there. So that is the reason the last inference management system is very difficult. So as far as our syllabus is concerned, we have these two in our syllabus, and we are doing this for the last 4 to 5 classes. Like we process statements in the terms of symbols, and we'll just process and we'll try to give whether the inference is right or wrong. And most probably in the next class or the class that we have on Saturday, we will try to process the statements. Rama is a boy. Rama was born in 1990, and Rama likes something, and there is a question that was asked. So I will convert this natural language processing statement that are written in English to a predicate calculus or predicate logic. From the predicate logic, again we try to infer something. So you need to understand whatever inference management systems that are there in the syllabus, the output is whether it is a true or false. And some inference management systems will also give you something like this. If I was asked a question to the system, I have asked a question to the system can tell, I need more information to answer this query with 100% guarantee. So if you add that knowledge to the system, obviously it can answer many queries. So this is how this inference management system will work. And we have been talking about this part because this part is very important. What exactly is a natural deduction system and what is an axiomatic system? This is very important in the context of external exam, or people who pursue are inclined towards research, are developing some system called as inference mechanism system or inference management system. So we have been talking about NDS. NDS is a global inference management structure where it will accept all the symbols, including and, or, bijection, and you have implication. Everything was accepted. So all the symbols are accepted. It will also can process and it can also infer with the 9 rules that we have studied in the last classes. So inference rules are 9 and it can process all the symbols. So what will happen if you have a system which has some constraints on what type of symbols has to be used and what type of inference rules has to be used? We call it as an axiomatic system, which exactly resembles the logic of Prolog. Whatever productions we write, even in water jug problem or whatever production that I have written yesterday and day before yesterday, in the terms of implication, can be directly understood by a language called as Prolog and Lisp. So that is the reason whenever implication is there, we have an advantage. Like if something happens, then what is the consequence? So that is the reason in a axiomatic system, while we are discussing about this for the last 2 classes, I said only one symbol that is permitted is an implication, because not can be applied for individual operators. So not is a universal operator that is accepted everywhere. But the interesting part is only symbol that can be applied in axiomatic system is this implication, and only rule that can be applied is modus ponens. That is, if you have a statement called as P and you have a statement called as P implies Q, I have something called as Q as my output or Q as my inference. This is what we are knowing. Almost everyone who are listening to the earlier classes, all this has to be very clear, and this is very important. So again, I have come with some problems in axiomatic system from your old question papers, where axiomatic system question which was very simple, which can answerable within 2 to 3 minutes, was given for 16 marks, surprisingly. So I have noted 3 important problems from your external exams and I have kept here in the slides. And I have taken one example, very simple example from NDS system from the old question papers, and I have kept this in the slides also, so that by the end of this class, most probably this NDS and AS systems has to be very clear, and most probably when you go home and open your textbook, you need to solve any problem that was given in this 2 regard. So we will go to the first problem. This is what actually the discussion that has happened for the last 2 classes, because your implication is not accepted, I have converted this R to this implication and AND to this implication and this bijection to this in the terms of implication, because AND is not accepted, I have used this part. So this is a final expression, this is a final expression, and this is a final expression. So whenever you have ANDs and ORs and by implication, you can use this equivalent terms. So these three are very important. How does your axiomatic search or axiomatic system or axiomatic inference mechanism or whatever it may be will work is based on these three rules, very important rules. So these rules most probably by yesterday itself, these rules has to be very clear. And the only thing that you need to have is, if you have a alpha here, you need to also have a alpha here. This beta can be anything. It can be beta, negation of beta, it can be any other fact that is valid as per your perception and as per the information that was given in our question paper. So the statements is, if your alpha is true, beta is true, and your gamma or what R is true, when all these are well formed formulas, and all these also must be true. So this is what the equation that they have given. If this is there, then this will happen and the entire expression is true. And the third rule is very simple. You need to understand here, if you take something called as A to B here, you have to get negation of B to negation of A. It will come in a reverse and you need to negate whatever it was there in the first LHS. So these three rules we have applied yesterday also. Today also we'll do this. And I also, yesterday I said I will use only one inference rule that was possible in axiomatic system, that is called as modus ponens. If you have P to Q and P, then this is Q. So most probably this is not. So this is partially the part of the problem was done in the class. Can somebody just unmute and just tell me whether this A to D is a valid inference or not from these three statements that was given here? Is the inference is right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Just a minute. I'm just finding how many are there. Okay. So if the inference is right, where exactly how to start and how you have to get this? Surprisingly, this question was asked for 16 marks in your external exam. This question was taken from the paper that your seniors has written. And the question is very simple. What is an axiomatic system? How do you infer this A to D by using these three statements? And it was given for 16 marks. So whatever theory that was given, because theory will attract less marks, and when you solve a problem, it will attract more marks. That most of the people know this. And then, if you wish to solve this problem, where exactly how to start and how I can start is what somebody has to have an insight, or can somebody just have it something on paper and just tell we'll proceed. It's very simple question, but whenever people talk about axiomatic systems, it's very difficult for us. Where exactly how to start is the question mark. Where exactly how to start, because all these inferences that they give is very simple inferences, and you know that inferences will be right, but how can we prove this and how can we infer? This is what I need to and you need to answer actually. So just you have a piece of paper with you, just try to have some initial understanding and just try to tell me where exactly I can start. Can I start with A to B? Can I take the first premise or the first statement, and can I apply some rules, because the rules are there. You know the rules, what rules you have. Three rules are there. Whatever manipulations you have to do, whatever inferences you have to do, I have to use only these three rules. There is no other option for us at this moment as per the rules are concerned. So these three rules I have to use, and my question is which production I have to take, and can I start with A to B, or can I start with B to C, or can I start with C to D? This is important, like where can I start and how can I start to get this output. Can I start with A to B? If I start with A to B, what type of rule I have to apply? If I apply a rule 1 that we have done yesterday, we have seen this rule yesterday. If I apply rule 1, what is that I will get is my discussion is just, can I use this, or can I use B to C, or can I use C to D? That's what my interest is. If I apply rule 1, what will happen here is, because alpha is A to B or A implies B, so I take this alpha as this. So if I take C2, again alpha is A to B. Is this useful for us? Because if you get this, so I have something called as A to B already there in my system. So from 1 and 2 I will get this part. This is A to B is alpha. Can I start like this? Like, can I take the first statement and can I apply the rule 1, or can I take the second statement and apply the rule 1? See, if you get this second statement, the third step can be something like this. If I apply a modus ponens rule, like modus ponens rule says from 1 and 2, I can get something called as C to A to B. Is this useful for me at some point of time? Since you are getting C to A to B, better you start with B to C. See, the reason I'm just going in a detailed manner is, all these problems are very simple, but you need some practice. If you start with this, what will happen here is, this is B, this is C. So alpha is B to C, and this is C. Since B and C are there, I can use A here. Alpha is B, and this is C. So if I apply a rule called as modus ponens for 1 and 2, I will get something called as A to B to C. So if I say this starting what I have done is right, then what is the next step? From the third step, how can I proceed? Or if you have A to B, A implies B implies C, can I apply rule number 1 or 2 or 3?
Please.
You can apply, but see, if you apply 3, what will happen is you need to have a reverse also. So if you apply rule 2, so rule 2 says, yes, see here, rule 2 is here, because rule 2 is talking about 3 items at a time. If you apply this, rule 2 is this, okay, what? So if I have a rule 2, what does your rule 2 says is, if you have something like this, so we can write A to B is a fact, and then A to C is a fact. So if you apply rule 2, rule 2 says this is a rule 2, just trying to minimize this, so I can get this part. What is that I can get from, what is the inference from 3 and 4? A to B to C is there, A to B to C is there, P is there, P to Q is there. So the inference is this part. This is what the inference is. Just a minute. So I started with taking this B to C and I have processed this B to C. So what is the output that I got at this moment is A to B and A to C. See, I have a statement that was given here. The statement is A to B was given. A to B was there. So what is the inference from 5 to 6? Yes, what you said is right. We have something called as inference, called as, see, this is something like this. So from 5 to 6, the inference that I can have it is A to C. See, this is the repeat of the problem that yesterday we have done this. So we have two statements now, like C to D was there and A to C was there. Now C to D was also there. And from 7 you have A to C. From here, how can I start, whether I can start applying, start with A to C or C to D? C to D I have taken from here. C to D is already given. C to D was already given. We got A to C from the way in which we have solved. So again I have left with two things, like A to C was there, C to D was there. Can I expand A to C or C to D? See here, you see here, A to B was there, B to C was there. If we start with A to B, we didn't get the output. So that is the reason I start with B to C. Now here, A to C was here and C to D was here. Can I start with A to C or C to D?
C to D.
So what your inference is right. If you follow that, obviously bigger problems will be solved, because there is other paper where it was given for 16 marks with extending this part. So what you said is right. I will take this C to D and again I will apply rule number 1. So rule number 1 says you have something called as, this is what the rule is, alpha to beta to alpha. So alpha is this, C to D is alpha. Now you need to tell me what can be the beta that I take. I have to take. because alpha is fixed, that alpha is C to D. A or B?
A.
Yes, what you said is right. I think you are seeing the screen. Yes. Okay. This is A. So the rule is something like this. So obviously you have to write like this. So this is what it is. So the inference from 8 to 9. From 8th statement and 9th statement. This statement. So the inference from your 8th statement, 9th statement can be something like this. A to C to D. See, what is that? I have no rules for getting the inferences. It's only based on the inference. I'm just moving like this. So A to C to D. If you wish to expand this, you have a rule 2 saying you can expand this like if you have something called as the rule 2. Most of the people know this rule, so I'm just trying to expand. If this is there, I can write what they are saying is this is also a fact. That is what my interest is. This is a fact. This is a well formed formula. Rule 2, most of the people have remembered this. This is the rule 2. This is the same thing that was applied there. Rule 2 was applied. So from 10th statement and 11th statement, what is that we will get is P was there, P to Q was there. The inference is this part. So A to C and C to D. We have A to C which was already there. So it from where is that A to C? Just I will find out where it is. From 7 and 7 and 12. So the inference is something called as C to D. So this is how the problem is solved actually. This is actually A to D. Somewhere it went wrong actually. Where exactly there is something wrong here. Here I have to write A to C and A to D. I have to write here A to C and A to D. So the output is A to D. This is what it is. See, my interest of this class is the logic is very simple, but you need to understand or solve the problem based upon your inference. So if you know the logic and if you know how do you apply the rules 1, 2, 3, obviously this inference you can get within 2 or 3 minutes itself. Because since I am doing it online, it is taking for times for me to explain this and type something here. But if you do on your own, obviously it will not take more than 2 to 3 minutes of time for getting A to D. So these problems are very simple and these problems are very important in the context of external exams, as well as people who wish to develop an inference management system You can talk to your senior Kartikeya, some girl was there. She has developed an inference management system by using Python itself. The alpha version she has done, and obviously she is placed in some company also. Just you can try to have a discussion with her. So the second problem that I have taken from the external exam is this part, which is very simple. It was given for 8 marks. You could see here, is the inference is valid here? So the inference is valid. Then how can we start getting this output? Can somebody just have a insight or a discussion at this point? How can we get this B? But if you see the third example, it's more surprising. Like negation of A was given, B was given, negation of A is a fact. Can somebody tell me what is more surprising in this third example that was given in your exam? Can somebody unmute yourself and just tell me what is two statements are given and you are asked to find the inference. This is the inference that they are saying. What is the strange thing? See, we have done almost 10 to 12 problems in the last 4 to 5 classes. What is the difference between all the problems and this problem? Can somebody guess? Can somebody has identified a problem with this? What is wrong in this problem? See, can somebody just unmute and just answer this? See, the problem here, the problem that was given here is Rama is a boy. Rama was born in 1990, and the inference is Rama is a boy. See, two statements are given, and these two statements, they said they are facts. These two statements are given, these two are facts, and again the same statement was given here. And we are asked to prove this is a valid fact by using axiomatic system. So you will not find this type of questions anywhere. See, they say this is a valid statement, this is a valid statement. How do you infer this? Is very ridiculous. But we need to prove something in the terms of axiomatic system by using. See, the interest of all these examples is how do you apply these three rules. We will not find a question of this type of this sort because these two statements are given, and again the output is this: Rama is a boy. Rama was born in 1990, and the inference itself is Rama is a boy. So nothing new you are finding. The same statement that was there, you are just giving the output again, but you have to use some rules to prove that. So I'm just going to this part. So how do you solve this problem to get this B? It's very simple problem. That's what I feel. I didn't know how much time it will take.
Sir, if we take negation B to A and apply negation, we'll get negation A to B,
Yes, yes.
and negation A and negation A to B, we get B.
Okay. I will do that. So shall I take negation of A or the second statement? The first statement, can I take the first statement or the second statement? If I take this statement, how can I expand this statement? Just randomly I will do, just see whether this will work or not. Let's say is this right? Is this statement that I got is right? Or if you get this statement, do you have any productivity? Whether if you this statement you got, can you get this B at some point of time? See, if you get this, what is the inference from these two statements I can get here is, just I am typing this. I will get this part. I think if I get this also, there is no use. This part you will get. Or does this part will help you? Or can I start with the second statement and can proceed? The starting point is very important because the answer is very simple. Which statement I have to take? Even when I'm solving this problem also, I said which statement I have to take. A to B or B to C. I have started with A to B, I did not get, then I have started with this B to C. Then I got A to C, then A to C and C to D, I started with C to D. Somehow that logic is very important, which statement I have to start. And it depends upon how do you solve the problem. See here, if I don't take all these things, if I take this statement, you can this statement that was given, the second statement was given like this. If your this statement was given like this, you can apply all the rules 1, 2, 3. So if I apply the second rule, just see what will happen, whether that will be useful or not. If I apply the third rule, I will apply third rule because third rule was not applied today. What will happen if I apply the third rule? Just find out. Then it has to be negation here, negation of A on 2B, because you need to write the reverse and you have to apply the negation. So does this second statement that I have written is right when I have applied a rule 3? I will show you rule 3. Rule 3 is this. You have something here, you need to have a reverse and negation here. So I have something here, I have done a reverse and I have negated. Negation of B is there, B was there, A was there, so I have negated this. Is this statement that I have written here is right? Second
Yes.
statement. Yes. If yes is the answer, from 1 and 2 I can get negation of A to B. So once I got negation of A to B, negation of A was given in your first statement. From 3 and 4 I will get an answer called as B. So answering these questions is very simple, but you need to understand where exactly how to start, which rule I have to apply. This is very simple. This will come only with practice, because we practice, I know this answer and I know which rule has to be applied, that I am doing like this. But this flexibility or this expertise will come when you do different type of problems with different types of rules. Anyway, you have to use the 3 rules. Again, I have to use only one inference mechanism. So at this moment I have used a rule called as 3. Here I have used modus ponens rule, so the outcome is B. It's very simple. The same way, if you can also solve this problem. This is a problem where it has surprised me, but the intention of the person who has given this problem is to make sure that you apply some rules so that you get the same input. The input is this, the output is also same, because inference management system will come with a different type of output every time, but this problem they have given it the same statement. But implicitly I understood positively that they are asking us to apply this rules to get this value. So how can you get this value after applying these three rules? Can somebody tell me? How can you get this negation of A when you try to apply the rules for this two statements, negation of A and B? You can apply rule number 1, 2, 3, whatever it may be. How do you get the output? Again the same story, like where can I start? The time is cross 9:40. Okay, so obviously this you can take it as a homework.
Negation A, we can
Yes,
start.
yeah, yes, you have to start with the negation of A, then the next step will come. It's very easy. And the next problem that I have kept today is a very simple problem, that is an NDS problem. Like NDS, like natural deduction system, most of the people in their exams they will call it as NDS. Just find out whether this output is valid or not. I will just stop within 1 or 2 minutes itself. Is the output is valid? NDS is a mechanism where all the symbols are valid and you can apply all the rules. This is given for 8 marks. With this I have just concluded this. This is a simple thing. So these two are joined with and here, so I can take negation of P from that statement and I can join these two. If I join these two, what is the outcome?
Negation R.
Yes, what you said is right. This is negation of R. Once you join these two, the outcome is yes. Once you join these two, the outcome is T. It's very simple. When you apply NDS, natural deduction system, the outcome is very simple and you get 8 marks very easily, because they will not ask you about what are the rules in NDS, but axiomatic system they will ask you the rules. So this is very simple. I wish to conclude this part two very important inference mechanism today itself. That is the reason just I am taking 1 or 2 minutes. So is this valid? Just find out. Some disturbance. Okay. Is that outcome is like, is the inference is valid? Is the inference is valid? See, what is that I do is, from this if I take P, from this P is already there, so the outcome can be something called as Q and R. So if you just further expand here, negation of Q will be there, R negation of R will be there. So from this, if you just combine this with Q, because Q was already given here, so what that I get is negation of R. So once you get this negation of R and S to R, obviously this negation of S is your value. So this is valid inference. So all the examples that are in your textbook, and most importantly from your external papers I have taken, and obviously by this class, these two systems has to be very clear, because these two are very important systems in the context of your external exam, in the context of people who are aspiring to do research in this inference mechanism system. So I came to the end of the class. I know that you have some training today. Before that, I will just take the attendance. Now, after taking the attendance, you can just leave. If you have any notes, please unmute yourself, or you can just